Looking over the old photographs of the church, I found that there were very few relics hanging on the wall. Most of the ones that we had in our churches came much later, but it was odd seeing the walls without the relics that I had always seen in message churches. Suddenly, while looking at the old photographs of the Branham Tabernacle, I noticed something even more unusual than the "I am God" sign above the pulpit. The early photographs of the church depicted a building that was much taller than the building in the newer photographs. I knew the building in the new photographs well. Not only was it my grandfather's church, but it was also a sacred building that many of us knew inside and out. The early photographs were not the same building. The 1936 tabernacle on 8th and Penn Streets was only slightly taller than the side windows, but the photographs we had of the early congregation were taken inside of a building that was at least 15 feet taller. There was no way that the prophet's early church, as we were told, would fit inside the Branham Tabernacle. Two large beams, clearly taller than the church building that I had attended for several years of my life, stretched from the floor to the lower ceiling of the building in the older photograph. Above those beams, a much higher ceiling stretched above the visible part of the photograph. On the beam to the right, it looked as though a plaque was positioned just above the heads of the adults as they passed by, but it could not be read due to the reflection of light from the camera. When the prophet talked about some verses painted on the church beams, he mentioned Sammy Davison painting them. I remembered an article that I'd found in the Jeffersonville local newspaper, which described the music program at the prophet's early church. The special program, according to the newspaper, was directed by Santy Davidson. I wondered, was this Santy the same person as Sammy? And also, who exactly was this man directing music at the prophet's church? Why was he chosen by the prophet, and why was he never mentioned?